Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Vibe with Five is back for the Euros 2024. We'll be bringing you all the action from Germany this summer. And Rio, we have a sponsor. That's right, the tournament is sponsored.
Yes, we do, man. Listen, we have Vibe with Five and it's sponsored by AliExpress, who are the first exclusive global e-commerce partner of UEFA Euro 2024. AliExpress is dedicated to creating a better shopping experience for everyone, serving over 150 million users worldwide. You see that? 150 million. That's a big number.
Big number. But Rio, AliExpress isn't just about football. No. With millions of high-quality items at affordable prices, plus free shopping, on-time guarantees, and free returns, AliExpress helps you fulfill your aspirations that spends less and gets more.
So listen, guys, what are you waiting for? Don't just sit there and just chill. Get going, man. Download the AliExpress app now or head over to their website and shop everything you need for Euro 24 on AliExpress. Let's go.
I'm on it.
It's a Vibe with Five, you already know this.
We are back on Vibe with Five. Myself, Joel Bayer, Rio Ferdinand.
I ain't seen you for a while, man.
Listen,
just introduce Fara, please introduce Fara. This is
Fara
the most captain
Williams
player ever.
Listen, we went into the WhatsApp group chat. We're pretty much wearing the same thing.
I know, I was thinking that.
Oh, it's true.
We are ready. But listen, I want you guys to stay tuned because we will be naming our England starting 11 at the end of the show. So make sure you stay tuned. Rio?
How you been? You been all right?
Man.
Did you see Man United win the FA Cup?
I did. I'm fuming with that
Yeah.
as a Chelsea
Why?
fan. What do you mean, why?
Chelsea? Okay,
of course,
cool.
you know, it is a liberty.
Obviously.
Look, both of us are in a bad positions out here right now.
We're not in the same position.
Wait
Farah.
there. What did you
We
win?
are not in the
what
same
did you
position.
win?
Let's
They
be-
think Champions League, but it's a trophy. It's not a trophy.
true.
Farah,
Bro, it's
Farah.
not a trophy.
Farah, please. Farah, you've been here for 2 minutes.
Okay, let me just say one thing. Yeah, I knew in October Chelsea weren't going to win nothing. Right? Arsenal hung on until the last day of the season.
Farah.
Thinking they were going to get a trophy for finishing
Farah.
second.
Farah,
Help me out, yeah.
we're in the Champions League.
I'm not even listening.
We've closed the gap on City, closed the gap
You
of
don't
City
get a trophy
to
for
2
that.
points. And on top of that, our club is going in the right direction. Who did you hire again?
I don't even know.
There you go.
whoever they
You see-
hired.
I don't know.
so-
He's gone.
so-
Anyway,
He's
we
gone.
won the FA Cup, man. Do you know how mad I
Yeah.
was going in my
Anyway,
house?
so Rio, how was the holiday anyway?
No,
So
the
I
holiday,
was-
I was going, me and my kids, man, seriously. Flew, was flying in the pool, everything. It was unreal.
so busy you forgot to come on.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't. It was just too much. You know what it was? My Wi-Fi was down. My Wi-Fi was down. The WhatsApp group was going that mad. The Wi-Fi kicked off.
Gosh.
Serious.
Oh, but anyway.
But yeah, what a way to finish the season for Ten Hag.
Do you know what's annoying, yeah? Because now you guys are in the community shield. I love the community shield, by the
Yeah,
way.
we're
Like, in
curtain
August.
raiser for the season.
You guys. See, when it's you guys, it's the curtain raiser. When it's us,
No, it is.
it don't matter.
No, but you said to me about it. I don't count it as trophies.
Yeah, but it's the curtain
I've
raiser.
won it 4, 5, 6 times. I don't know, but I don't count it.
Really?
Yeah.
Jose counts it, and so does Zlatan. England.
Yeah.
Now-
England.
It's funny because it looks like the fans have a very up and down relationship. So
That's
one
not
minute-
changed though. That's been
never
always the
gonna
same.
change,
Really?
Yeah.
It just seems to me like, you know, they play their first friendly and it's like, okay, well, they win, all great. Look, it was all inspiring, and then they lose 1-0 to Iceland, and it's just like, get Southgate out. You know, Steve's in the group chat and he's just like everyone's going mad. Where do you stand on this? He's obviously going to be leaving anyway, but is he the right man to win us this
I think
tournament?
before you answer this, Farah, I think the biggest mistake that I made as a player playing for England was expecting the media and the fans to be a settled bunch, to be kind of just calm and just, you know what, trust the process. When you play for England, you put on that shirt. It's a heavy shirt, man. There's heavier shirts, I think, like Brazil and those countries, but England is still a heavy shirt because the expectations you get with going out and playing for them, the press, the media, especially when we played, I think it's still bad now, but I think it was a bit more. It was a toxic environment before. We wasn't friendly with the press. So I used to believe and sit there, and it was a big mistake I made that, you know, they're going to be all right and we're going to bounce into the tournament with the nation behind us, the media behind us. It just never happened. We always went in there that with our shield on, forget everyone else, against our media, first and foremost, and then some of our fan base as well, not wanting certain players in and stuff. And that noise is big, and the biggest thing you've got to create is a unified dressing room that gets the shields up and doesn't hear all of that. And I think Gareth Southgate has done an amazing job at doing that.
Yeah. No, I give him credit for that. I think he definitely knows how to galvanise a team. But I think there's still questions tactically.
We're always going to question, aren't we? I think football is always about opinions. I think that's a difficulty. He's got an unbelievable talented group that the nation do expect to potentially win this Euros or certainly do well in it. But I think Rio's right. I think he's created a team that in-house, they're strong. I think their togetherness is probably better than we've seen in an England team. And sometimes you do have to block out that outside noise. But I think already in his team selection, in terms of the squad that he's taken, he's made big decisions. He's left out big players that in the past we would have questioned him not doing that. Pick players in form or whatever, and he's done that. So I hope when it comes to crunch time in the tournament, he's able to make those big decisions in big moments. And I think if he shows that type of balls now, if he shows that in tournament, in the knockout stages, if we need to throw players on, we don't wait till the last 10, 15, he does it earlier, he makes big decisions. So hopefully his mentality is set out already, he carries through in the tournament.
Do you think they're big decisions though?
Yeah.
Like what then?
I do, because
Who?
No, I don't think they're big in terms of the form of the players. So you think of players that he's left out. You
That's
can even
my
go back
point,
to Sterling and Rashford and Grealish and Maddison. In terms of their form, is not there. In terms of tournament experience of England, and probably never letting England down when they've played, I think we would have expected them to go ahead of players that haven't been there before.
I think for
So
him,
I don't
it's
think. I think for him,
I don't know,
that's
man. I think.
I don't disagree with the players that he's taken or left out.
I just think if you look at if you isolate it and go Rashford and Grealish aren't going, but anyone else you'd say they shouldn't go. They haven't played enough games or haven't played well enough. Rashford hasn't played well enough. Grealish hasn't played enough games, especially when you've got an Anthony Gordon there who's been to a under-21 tournament, won it, been the player of the tournament, played well this year again for Newcastle. You're thinking, well, actually, I can see somebody who can actually go in there. Also, by the way, Phil Foden finished many games last season left wing, so I think Phil Foden's going to play there.
Yeah, I do.
So when you've got that there, I don't see them decisions being huge decisions for him. I think media-wise, it's a big decision because £100 million player, Jack Grealish is a huge name, Rashford, Man United, big name. It's big in that sense, but the nuts and bolts of it, when you break it down, I don't think they're big decisions. I think it's been made for him by the way they've played or haven't played. Maguire's not a big decision taken out of his hands because he's injured. Maddison, he said it himself, hasn't finished the season as well as he would like, and that's probably one of the strongest areas of the pitch they've got. When you look at the players who can play in the areas that Maddison plays, Palmer, Foden, Jude.
I just think, Rio, on that, I just think in terms of form, I think you're 100% right. None of us can argue that those players that have been left out should be there based on how they've performed. But I think what Southgate's done in the past tournaments is take players he knows are reliable for England, which if you look at those players, I would say they've been reliable for England. So the fact he's coming away from that and kind of taking a risk with some young players that have youth experience in terms of tournament, but not senior tournament experience, I think that's a big, big decision from him.
I'm 50% with what you said, Rio. I think if you look at the James Maddison area, I agree. They're stacked there. As good as Maddison is, we can do without. But, bro, Grealish has won a treble. For me, Rashford, he's played for England. He understands the media pressure. Anthony Gordon, mate, this is different levels, bruv. This is not Newcastle, And if you look at, for example, Maguire, like you said, he couldn't do anything about it. But, Braithwaite being left out, Lewis Dunk being brought in, I thought that was a bit strange myself. I thought, okay, who's he going to play there? Is it going to be Gay? Is it going to be Konsa?
I don't see Braithwaite as a surprise. I know people do. I just don't see it as a surprise, mate. When I look at the Everton team, Everton defended most of the season. He can defend. He's made blocks. He makes recovery runs. We're talking about an England team. But we're talking about an England team that want to play with the ball. He's not that.
Dunk.
He's not that, but Dunk plays in a possession-based team.
Exactly, the way England are going to try and play. Like the way that Braithwaite has played this season, and he's done really well at Everton. He has done really well. He's the clean sheets they've had, etc. Just the fact they've stayed up and he's been a main part of that, right, is great. But he's defending a lot of the time in the edge of his box. They're a low block team. England don't want to play like that. England want to have the ball and pass and start attacks, and he hasn't shown that he can do that yet at a top level.
Let me just add on that. He's gone to training camp, right?
Yeah.
As somebody potentially that's going to go as a squad player.
They've seen it.
They've seen it.
Yeah,
I think he's been found out. I honestly think he's been found out.
I think it happens.
I just mean found out as in not ready. I don't mean found out as in he won't get to that level. He's just not ready right now. I think Southgate took that opportunity to see him in and around camp, and he's not quite there yet.
Or maybe he has other options as well. Because if you look at someone like Gomez, he could play anywhere across the back.
Yeah.
That's an additional That's
But
an
you got
additional
Gay.
option.
Gay, when he's played for England, has played well.
No, played well.
And I think Gay's one of those. I spoke to Patrick Vieira ages ago about him when he was a manager, and he said this kid, whatever level he goes to, he'll get to that level. He's not one of those who goes beyond it or under it. He just gets to where he needs to get to in that level. And he's done it when he played for England. And he's done it for Palace. He's done well. He had a couple of injuries into the season, but then he's come back into the team and played. So I don't know. I think there were big names been left out, but I don't think they were really hard calls for the manager based on what's gone on.
I think I hear you, but I just think Foden for England has not shone on the left. So it's all right to say, oh yeah, Foden will play on the left, but is that really his best position for England?
I know.
You know,
But Grealish ain't played no games this season. Like, how many games did he play this season?
But he's still a danger. He's a different
Get
option.
up.
And plus, he played at the end of the season as well.
I would have took Grealish. I got to be honest myself.
But and then you've got other positions. Obviously, Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's now down as a midfielder.
Has to be.
That's going to be interesting.
Nah, you know what? I think he has to be.
Do you think would you start him?
Yeah, I'd start him in there
Would you?
alongside Declan Rice, 100%.
Would
I said
you?
that before the squad numbers come out. For me, Declan Rice isn't that player that can thread through the lines early. Doesn't see passes early enough through the line. Mate, Trent can do that. I think half of the problem is we can't get our 10s like Foden in pockets early enough. And when Declan Rice plays or whoever sits there, Mainoo, these boys can't do it. They play. Their style is completely different. For me, Trent on the ball. Something else, mate. Balls are behind.
Trent on the ball.
What I'm saying, the passes that he sees is different. And that's the type of player we need in there. And I think actually having him in there.
So Grealish has been involved in 20 games this season, scored 3 goals.
Yeah.
So stats, yeah.
It's not enough. Sorry, go on.
No, I'm just saying, I just think that then releases Declan Rice a little bit. If you've got a more defence-minded player that can get on the ball, it allows, as you've seen at Arsenal, for Declan Rice to join a little bit higher up.
I think there are certain games you play Trent in, and he's the locksmith. I don't know. I think each game. This is what I think with the manager and with the England team. Each game is going to have different requirements, and I think we've got a lot of players who could be required for different teams that we're going to face. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think this is a team where you go right, one size fits all. Our first 9 players are surefire hits, and then we'll just maybe have another couple that might be on the fringes that we're going to mix and match with. I think this is a really kind of a team that I think you can go right. That game requires this, and I think that's the job of the manager. That's where I think he's going to earn his crust. He's going to earn his money. We're going to see what he's about now because he's got young and inexperienced players. When are you going to put them in? Who are you going to put them in against? Also, where are you going to play them? Do you know what I mean? We've got the likes of Palmer have a season like he's had, and he could go to this tournament and not even play, not take part. If the manager isn't loose a little bit, isn't a little bit, you know what, let me just give this game a little, I can see it needs something else, bang. And to be fair with him, people are now saying, should he start instead of Foden? I don't think so. I think you could play them both. But I think Foden, what he's done this season, he has to start.
There's a big tournament for Foden, by the way.
But that's the thing, isn't it? Because Foden has been unbelievable for Manchester City. We don't see that same Foden in an English shirt.
How many players we say that though about?
No, I know, it's so hard. It's so frustrating.
You're right. You are right. You're right.
My whole generation was that.
Yeah, of course.
Who played in my generation as well for England as they did for their club? One player.
Yeah, but
one player.
The difference is, who was?
Michael Owen.
Okay, that's fair.
And Bex.
Yes, the difference is though, we've seen Saka shining. We've seen the Arsenal Saka.
I don't even think it's a Saka Foden thing. I just think it's a positional thing. Where are we going to get the best out of Foden? We know he's got the ability. We've seen it all season. It's been unreal. So where are we going to get him? That's what I'm saying.
He played in the 10 last game.
8 or 10. Yeah,
the whole team
were
looking
terrible.
pretty. All right, cool. There's always an excuse, isn't there, for Foden?
If Foden ain't good enough on a certain day, I'll say it. Listen, bro, he's a Man City player. I shouldn't even be backing him like this.
He's your mate, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
all right.
We chat a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But like I was saying, Fara, we've seen performances from Saka. We've seen performances from Declan Rice. Declan Rice for England. We've seen it. Kobe's had 1 or 2 appearances. We've seen it. I know it's young for him, so whatever. Bellingham, kind of seen it. I think there's been times, he did well against Belgium as well. He stepped up. I haven't quite seen it yet for Foden, and I'm still waiting. I am. And if he's not careful, you are going to see a Palmer on the left-hand side, Saka on the right, and whoever they play.
But I also think that's okay. I also think we've seen what Palmer's done this season. Eze, we're not even speaking about him, what he's done this season. Like, he was unbelievable in that first half the other night in terms of carrying the ball, getting into good areas. So we've seen these young players be able to deliver in the Premier League this season. So if for example, Foden isn't delivering for England, this
Bring
is
him
where we
out,
say about
bring him
Southgate,
out,
bring him
yeah.
out, and we've got these players that have that creative mindset that can maybe deliver on the international if
You've got to
Foden
be
isn't
bold.
delivering.
You've got to be bold. Like that's the thing I think with
we have to trust
Southgate.
Foden in there.
Be bold. Go with what you think at the beginning. But if it's not working, don't sit there and be wrong and strong. Go right. Take it so-and-so out. No egos. Don't care. So-and-so's coming in. And that person then ends up playing himself into the tournament. And if that person that was starting, maybe Foden, who has to be a sub now for the next 2 group stages games, so be it. But it needs to be like that, where the manager is listen, and the players are accepting of that. That's the big key. Been to tournaments where players ain't playing or get dragged off, and you can tell they're scowling and they're moaning. Ain't good for the team ambience. This team don't look like they got that though. They look like they're accepting of what the manager wants, and it's a good, real good ambience in the place.
Did you have that in your time though? Because I like to draw on your experiences. I remember, for example, '98, Owen would start as a sub. By the time the Argentina game came along, he was starting. Were there other positions or players that you saw as the tournament progressed, kind of changed a little bit?
So there'll be young players who are just happy to be there. I was one of them in 1998. Happy to be there. Don't even care if I don't play a minute. But there's other players, like Les Ferdinand, for instance, didn't play a game. Straight away pulled the manager and ended up when the tournament finished in the change room. Not happy. Fuming. And like, I'm a kid looking and watching thinking, right, this is mad. Like, but that's how it was. I don't think that's there now with these players. I don't think I think they might be disgruntled, but they won't want to let the others see that because they're all a unit and they're all together. But yeah, players who weren't playing in tournaments, like, it's not.
Can I stop you there?
Yeah.
One thing I have realised, you saying that, I think the players that would are not going.
Who do you think would?
I think someone like Rashford would.
I don't think so in England. I think
Not in
it's
England.
similar.
I think England is different.
I think
Really?
England is different. I think they've been different for England.
I don't think they're
We've
happy
seen
with it.
Grealish not play. Yeah, we've seen Grealish not play.
But not have a word with him or not.
No, I don't
No,
think
I
they
don't think
because
so.
I think that the group would look at them funny. Not a player, not a captain, the group. And I think the group's stronger than any individual, which is what you need. Families are a problem.
Yeah, they are.
Like players managing their own families or other families around it, etc., is hard. Like because you're hearing like, oh, so and so was up late the other night with so and so, having a laugh, like whatever. Oh, he's old man's a loon. Like, or you know what I mean, his family have been on the piece, they're running riot. You know what I mean, in Baden or wherever it was, and you're like, those things start filtering in, and it's like, all of a sudden that's going in the paper. And it's embarrassing for you as a player if your family are getting called out or whatever. It's just a distraction you don't need. Do you know what I mean? And then you've got like, I need more tickets. I can't get more tickets. And it's like, I always thought before I go to a tournament, my family, my members of my family know if they're going or not. There ain't none of this calling up late doors and going, just like, really, can I get some final ticket? I ain't chatted to you for ages, like friends or family. That never happened. I was like, I just know. But so that type of stuff, that can be really affecting. Like, it affects you, man.
It's true.
Funny.
Like, how many times I've been in the change room, right, and I've been sitting there, and then the player liaison person comes, who helps you with everything, comes over and goes, Rio, got a so-and-so at the ticket office saying you've left him tickets. This is minutes before a game, you know. This is like 20 minutes before the game in the change room. Wait, let me just check my phone. They text me. Just chancing their arm. Like mad people just come and say mad stuff. Yeah, like
Swear down.
Yeah, so you just got to make sure you manage that. Tournament football's like that as well.
You know what I was going to say about tournament? I don't know if you felt the same way. You know, like, I think our group of players got better as the years went on in terms of the work that went into the team to make the team togetherness much better and more tolerant to be around. You know, that kind of respect level for each other. We never had it early on. And so being away for that long period of time became easier in the early stages of my international, when you're away with people that you couldn't, after 2 weeks, bear to be around, become really difficult. I don't know if the longer you were together, did that become more... That's where we struggled. I always used to say in tournament football, the team that can tolerate each other for the longest and can be together and ignore that,
Well, we used to hear...
get further.
We used to
Look
hear
at
all the time.
Argentina in the World Cup.
We used to hear all the time in the papers that you guys felt secluded and it was boring. That's what used to come out.
That's
a
what
lot.
I'm saying. We used to be
Yeah,
like...
and I look at that now and just think like, I've been to many tournaments. I went to France '98 and Hoddle had us locked in this like a resort,
mate.
like a resort. There was like loads of stuff going on, like amusement area and all that stuff, which is nice. And I don't really think that was that bad. I've got to be honest with you. I just think, how are you sitting here moaning when it's 4 weeks of your life to become immortal? That's what I used to think. I weren't, I need to be able to go here, there, everywhere. If I want to go out for a walk, I should be able to go out for a walk like normal. Just treat me like a normal human being. I know it's World Cup time and it's going to be a bit feverish outside, but you can find ways to get in and out of places or whatever if need be.
Okay.
I weren't one of them who was always like going, oh, we need this and we can't have this. And I just used to think, right, man, it ain't long together, you know. Just sacrifice a little bit of home comforts that you might miss. Although I weren't happy with things like I need salt and vinegar in my food, or I need like certain men weren't allowed to have tomato ketchup and
Was that Capello days?
mayonnaise and that, yeah.
Capello days.
Yeah, that was like, and they're like more like that's nutritional. I need to be happy. If you're not happy eating when the food is so important for playing, that's a different. I think that's a bit different. But like being able to go here, there, and everywhere, I think I used to just feel the more normal you can make it to your normal life, the better. So being cooped up and not allowed anywhere, I don't think it's healthy. But listen, if it means we're going to win, I don't mind doing it. But if you can have a little bit of cooped up and a little bit going out and walking about, it's fine. I know teams that were drinking beers and that during the World Cups. But
that was always my frustration, is that you go there and they try and make it even more professional, if that's what they want to call it, or be even different. Oh, we're international, it has to be different.
You was at the final, though, wasn't it, Fara?
In 2009. But you're used to your day-to-day routine. So, like, if you are that type of player that needs to go for a little walk or whatever, like, you should be allowed that freedom to do it. We were pretty much locked up most of the time in the early stage. We weren't even allowed out of the hotel for a walk. It was crazy.
No
Not even for a
way.
coffee. That was crazy, though, in our day. And we weren't even professional.
the problem is that
you lot are different. I'm talking about the women's game.
No, but the problem is you lot probably the same, but because you weren't as much in the media then it was different. But I reckon you were probably similar. You had loose cannons in your squad. You were doing mad stuff.
Yeah.
And I was one of them at one point.
Yeah.
So
but
I
as you
understand
said,
why the manager's not going to trust it.
But even so,
I used to get in trouble all the time, man.
like on a day off there, and they go for you can have you go out for a meal or whatever. It was only really 2015 when we went to the World Cup under Mark Sampson that we had that little bit more freedom. It was kind of like, look, take responsibility of your own performances or whatever, your downtime.
Mm-hmm.
Mate, having a little prosecco or something with your meal or wine, some people have whatever. Like, I didn't actually see that as a problem because you think your weekly routine. You probably have that somewhere in that week, like with your evening meal. Yeah. It's not out of character or out of whatever. You weren't ever allowed to do that.
One prosecco weren't happening with us though.
Yeah, but that's the problem with some players.
So that's why you have to make a strong
rule, they have a
because
full day of
otherwise,
like sugar, like they have a craving for sugar that day.
A whole session of like booze. Like I was with the 21s one time.
Yeah.
And we went and played in Italy. So I told you this story before, and we were there. And we played our game. We used to play the game for the 21s the day before the first team.
Yeah.
The first team were playing a qualifier to go to the World Cup or the Euro or World Cup. Sorry, I was in 21s. Me, Frank Lampard, Kieran Dyer, Danny Murphy, Jamie Carragher, and others. Richard Wright. So then all of a sudden, the manager goes after a game. We I think we win the game, and then the manager goes, "We're going to go and see the first team that night. We're going to get a coach up to there to see their team, but in the daytime you're allowed to go out and go into the little village where we was." So he said, "Yeah, wicked." Went there.
Because it's in Italy, yeah?
It's in Italy. It's a hot day, yeah?
You boys can't be trusted.
Yeah, I'm walking out, I'm thinking, I'm going to go shopping maybe. Then all of a sudden I get a sniff of the bar. There's a bar, I can see it in my sights. I can see a couple of people in English, training tops. It's like, I think it's like Danny Murphy, Cara, Ben Thatcher, the ringleader.
Yeah.
And me and Frank go, right, let's get over there. Go over there. 1 beer, 2 beers turns into like, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 beers. And then all of a sudden the manager, Peter Taylor, comes into the bar.
Peter Taylor.
And we're all sitting there with drinks. And I remember him trying to tell Ben Thatcher to put his drink down, and Ben's fighting him to keep hold of it to finish the beer. Right. And I remember I tried to sneak off.
Jokes.
I tried to sneak off, and Frank got away. I got caught, yeah. So he said, go back to your rooms now, get your passport. You lot are going to the airport. You're not coming to watch the seniors play. You're going home early. I was like, no, I didn't. I just got here. He said, don't lie. So got back to the hotel, give him my passport, yeah. Frank, I think Kieran Dyer was with us as well. Frank Lampard was on the coach, yeah. And Ben Thatcher was so smashed. He went, I can't believe Frank's got away with this as well. And the manager heard, snitched, bro. And then all of a sudden, Frank got called off as well. And we was in the airport. I mean, Ben Thatcher was like weeing in the corner, doing mad stuff like in the security room and that. And then Glenn Hoddle got on the plane, on the way home, walked past me, and just, you get one of those looks like just to say disappointed in you, son. Disappointed. It was the worst feeling. He ended up picking me for the senior squad after, but that's what I mean. I used to get in trouble a bit.
Staying with families, We was actually talking about this earlier in the briefing, and what's it like leaving your families themselves? So, for example, especially when you get older, you got
Kids and that.
You know, I'm feeling it a little bit. Even though we're going away, I've got my little daughter, and I'm like, I'm gone for 5 weeks.
It's different now, though, you know, because like look at you got so many ways of having contact. There's FaceTime. You can like consume your kids if you want, like, but it ain't the same as seeing them. I get that, but back in the day, bro, you used to could just do a call. Like it weren't the same. It's like you really are not seeing your family. Do you know what I mean? So it was a bit different, but I still say it's probably harder for the kids. You're occupied. You're focused on being a footballer and trying to win this tournament, man. And that's how these guys have got to be. All this sentimental shit has got to go. Like you don't want to hear. When I was a player, I didn't want to hear I'm homesick. When a man says he's homesick, I just think, bro, get him out of here.
That's nuts. Especially when you're playing a tournament.
Away from me, homesick. Yeah, now I look at it and go, actually, you should be more supportive. But in that time, I was like, I don't want to hear.
I was ruthless like that. I didn't want to hear.
But I can't lie. When you've got a World Cup to win or
Homesick.
a Euros to win,
you know,
He's homesick.
you got to
send him home now.
Yeah.
you got to be
I
honest.
was just
This
focused
Tyson
like that.
Fury, he ain't trying to see his family before camp.
Boxers do it all their
Yeah.
career. They go 6 weeks 8 weeks in camp, don't see their family, don't even see their woman, don't speak. It's like
And sometimes it's their choice, by the way.
Yeah. No, there was players that struggled. Obviously, the players that had kids for us who didn't have kids and whatever, the freedom is kind of a little break and you can focus. But actually, as I say, players and the team actually performed better when camp was a little bit more free and the kids were allowed in, you know, that day switch off. You know what it's like when you're playing with kids, like days off. And so they actually made camp easier for the mums that were, you know, missing.
I think they do that now, though.
So they brought them in, and it's much better. But it's
Yeah.
even good for players that don't have kids, you know, that kind of switch off time. I'm going to go and have a little play with the kids.
We done that
It's
in
quite
'98.
cool.
Actually, we had the families and then the wives and girlfriends came over, which
make it a
was
little bit more normal.
and you see them for like 24 hours, and then that's it, and then that probably gives you a nice little boost.
Yeah.
But I think it's just by any means necessary. You got to try and whatever works for your squad. Gareth Southgate's known these boys long enough now to know what works best for these bunch.
Obviously, you might have seen on the news when England lost to Iceland, there was a big uproar because it looked like Bukayo Saka was the face in the papers of a lot of things.
I posted about that.
I just want to know, like, multiple outlets, The Telegraph, The Sun, BBC Sport, Mail Sport, you know, and he only came on in the 65th minute. You know, what were your thoughts on that?
It was like, I woke up and thought, right, did Saka play the whole game here?
Yeah.
I was confused.
Did he
I
miss
was
5
confused.
chances? Or did he miss a penalty again?
Yeah.
That's what I kind of was thinking to myself, right? But it made me think to myself, these guys who wrote these articles must have been in a group, a WhatsApp group, and come up with this and go, you know what, let's just put this out. Let's set the tone for the tournament. That's the way it looks like. There's a little bit of like skullduggery gone on. They've gone, you know what, we're going to do this together. I reckon we'll get through this. No one will see this. We'll just put it out there and we'll get through it. But we're going to set the tone for what's about to come for the tournament. That's what it felt like. And if I'm a young player, like Saka sitting there, I'm thinking, this is my media. Again, go back to my point about the media. I'm meant to be bouncing into this tournament with them going, go on, boys, go on, win it. Yeah, we've lost a game, but that should be talked about. It's only a friendly. This ain't going to be what it's like in the tournament. So we're all right. But our media don't do that, man. They don't want to help us.
He played 25 minutes. And I was just confused, innit? Like you, I looked and I thought,
I think a lot of people are confused with that. It don't even add up.
More people that read them articles probably didn't watch the game, and they're going to be
That's why they do it,
influenced
right?
by it.
Influenced.
So that's the point. They've got to understand the responsibility that they have and the power they have.
That's what I think more so. It's more the impact that those articles have on readers that then brings that abuse, racist abuse, whatever, to those players directly.
They'll be rocking Saka. That's what it'll be.
Yeah.
Seeing the articles.
Yeah.
Madness.
It was mad. And credit to Saka because he doesn't come out, he doesn't make a lot of noise. He deals with things how he handles it.
Just does Nando's sauce and things like that.
Yeah.
Just that's the way he
That's
deals
what
with
the
it.
It's nice, by the way. But so we hope to see improvement because the good thing about today's media is you can't get away with that because.
But you know what's so frustrating is the way that Southgate's created this group of players that you look in your day in terms of that relationship with media, it was hostile, right? He's opened up to the media. He's made these players and available to them as and when, and yet that's the type of treatment you get from them. It's outrageous.
That's why Hodu used to say they'll never be on our side, so don't be nice to them.
Oh, really?
Just say don't be nice to them because they're never going to be on our side. They don't want you to win. That's what he used to say. He's right.
Well, this is the part of the show where we name Well, you two, I want to know your starting 11s for England this tournament.
I know my team
I
now.
know my team already.
You know your
But
team?
again, I'm more like flexible because it depends who I'm playing against.
I think you have to be able to adapt in tournament, and I think, but adapt is not taking out your core group. I think the problem for England at the minute, I think obviously for Southgate in terms of choosing that front line or whatever those kind of 10 positions, 8s, wide players, it is going to be difficult for him. I think the back line pretty much picks itself. It's weak at the minute, isn't it? I think that's where we're really light at the back. Walker at right back, I'd have.
Who's in goal?
Oh, sorry, Pickford. I forgot about him. I think he picks himself, doesn't he? Walker, Stones, Gahey, a fit Luke Shaw. It's going to be difficult, if not Trippier. I'd play Trent alongside Rice. I'd play Bellingham in the 10, Kane in the 9. I'd start with Foden off the left. I think that, and then Saka off the right. But even that Foden position, I'm kind of like, I need to see how he performs in tournament, because that for me could change in tournament. And also, I think the midfield could change in terms of 2 10s. I'd like to see Foden and Bellingham with Rice behind him in a 10. I don't think the way in which Southgate plays, I don't know if that will work. I'd love to see it. I just don't think it'll work.
I just don't see why you have to play Bellingham as a 10.
I would play. I think that's a good
Get
team.
beyond Kane. I think he
It's
has
a
to
good
get.
team.
I think Bellingham has to get beyond Kane. I think that no one does that. Kane drops into areas that no one's prepared to go beyond him. When I look at when Kane was good at England, when they had Lingard that would go beyond him, Dele Alli that would go beyond. I think that's something that Bellingham would do. Foden likes to stay in pockets.
And I'll play different in and out of possession.
Yeah.
So in possession, I play a back 4. So out of possession, I play a back 4 when we're defending. So I go Walker, Stone, same back 4, Gay, Shaw, if he's fit. And then I'd go Declan in front. This is when we're defending, yeah. And then I'll have the 2 8/10s, Foden and Bellingham. Yeah. But when we're in possession, we'll go to a back 3, Walker, Gay, and Shaw, and Stones will push in as the 2 pivots.
Okay.
So controlling the game.
Yeah.
And the 2 8s in front of them, /10s will be Foden and Bellingham. And I want Foden to be more of a linker. And I want Bellingham, like she's saying, Fara saying, run on. I don't you come into the ball. Keep running on.
Okay.
Beyond Kane, who's going to come deep as well. Saka on the right, and I'd start Gordon on the left.
Interesting.
Because I want people that can go beyond. Like I don't want everyone coming to the ball.
Too many players.
Like if Palmer plays, starts in that team that I've started there on the left, that's another one that really wants to come to the ball and get, because he's great. That's his game. Get me the ball and I'll move. Foden wants to do that. You know what I mean? Declan wants to get on the ball. Stones will be in there wanting to get on the ball. Kane wants to come to the ball. Saka wants to come to the ball and get on it and then run at people. I need one at least who's going to get on it and without it run that way. That's why Bellingham, I think, needs to do that as well.
I think the Man United audience would want to know. Too soon for Mainoo?
I think Mainoo plays a part in this tournament, but I don't start him initially. Same as Trent. Like I think he comes in and plays, and one of those two I think could almost come in and all take a shirt at some point maybe. But that's the team I would start with. But I just look at it like this with Trent. Trent's ridiculous. I can't talk high enough about him with a ball. His passing range is like it's like De Bruyne, it's Beckham-esque, like them levels, right? Put the ball anywhere you want. But I don't know, right now he's not at that level. He's played enough games in midfield.
That's the only thing
He's
I
been
would question.
exposed
That's
to
the
it
only thing
enough.
I would question. But I'm like, I think he's played enough games at the top level, Champions League football, Champions League winner, been through all those experiences, the pressure of playing for Liverpool, all those things.
I get it.
I think he.
You look at
as I
Alarm.
say,
You look
you'd
at Alarm.
question his
Alarm's
out
done
of
it.
you question his out of him, but I think with Rice, I think it suits. I think Declan Rice would be better with a ball playing midfielder right next alongside him.
And also, international football can be slower sometimes. You can't compare. You don't know how it's going to be against Slovenia
My
or
point is,
Denmark.
he can play. I think I'd be very happy and I would go to sleep at night comfortable in them games. But then you're going against Germany and you're going to go against Spain and you're going to go against France and you're going against Portugal, who have got.
Yeah, but then when you need, in your team that you're playing, so for example, Bellingham and Foden, you're going to bring Bellingham a little deeper.
Yeah, without the ball especially.
Okay.
And then when we get, he's got the capacity to get beyond again.
I think that's the difficulty when we play Foden and Bellingham. It's a transition moment. I think we got look at Iceland's goal.
But that's where Palmer might come as well.
I think that's what that was. We had Mainoo.
Oh,
was
defensive,
a little bit
like defensively.
So we're not so much in possession.
But that's
I think
where
in
I got
possession
Stones.
you got to rotate.
But that's where I'll stop that. Hopefully that transition with Stones and Rice in there. You slow that transition
I
down.
hear that. I just don't think England's back line as
That's where
they haven't
Walker's the
shown
cheat
it.
card. For me,
Of
Walker's
course,
the cheat card.
Of course.
He's my.
With
I
his
use
pace
that guy as my
recovery.
cheat card.
But a half fit, sure.
Yeah.
That's worrying. Gahey, in terms of international experience, a little bit. Whoa.
That's why.
Stones
That's
is
why
not fit.
Colwell
Stones
should have
is
been
only
sit.
Stones
That's
like
why.
what happened against Iceland. Is he fit to even play? It's like.
Yeah, there's so many. We're talking really.
So that's
like,
why I'm thinking we need a little bit of security, but have that freedom of the front four, so to speak.
No, I'm not going for. I need to go loose and just. Yeah, I just want to go out there and just.
That's
throw
why
it
we're
all out
sat
there.
here. We're not coaching.
Yeah, that's why we're not managers. But if I manage England, they'd be going out like that and we'd win it. Trust me.
Or home early, group stages, one of the two. But listen, I want you guys to
Players
let
would
us
love
know.
me either way, do you know that?
Really?
Because we'd either win it or they'd be on a beach somewhere early.
Yeah.
Simple.
I want you guys watching to let us know what would be your starting 11 for England. You've heard Fara's and Rio's. Please, if you agree with them, great, let them know. If you don't, let them know. It's fine. It's an open space. It's okay, man. You know, and we will be calling it out as well because we've got Bible 5 episodes coming out. Please keep on watching. And where can they find you as well?
At home, mate, watching on
Yeah.
TV.
And also...
Boots, balls and bras, but that's on a little break until WSL season starts back.
It's great content. Also available on Instagram as well, socials. Please make sure you follow. And of course, Rio and myself. And we will be back soon. Peace.